Out. Okay, there we go.
We are live.
We are live. It's Thursday, you guys. It's Thursday. We've almost made it through the first full week of January, the first full working week of January.
Oh, that's right.
Right. This is it. This is the first full working week. I feel like everybody's not full of cheese and bread
Anymore.
We're starting to work the cheese and bread out of our systems, which is lovely. It's really nice. You guys, while you're doing that, while you're working the cheese and bread out of your systems, make sure you go to our website at chicksontheright.com. Do that. Also, you should check out our communities at Facebook Insiders and then our locals community as well. And they will help you through the cheese and bread detox.
And so much more. They will help you through all of your troubles and turmoils.
Totally.
They are awesome,
people.
Awesome people. You can get all those links at chicksontheright.com/links. You can find all the things. Literally all of our things are there. All of them. Man, did I ever pick a terrible day to have a shorter show.
Way to go, Mock. Way to go on your blood draw.
I know, man, because hopefully everybody remembered that we were starting early. And so if you didn't, then you're gonna join late.
Does that mean you're fasting? I didn't even ask you that in pre-show.
Yeah.
Are you fasting?
I do anyway. I'm an intermittent faster person because I don't know if I've mentioned this to all of my fellow menopausal women out there. And I have no scientific data to back this up at all. But ever since I started not eating in the morning, like waiting about 16 to 18 hours to eat, I don't have hot flashes.
It's helped.
It's totally made them go away. I don't know why. And there is no data to back this up, but that's the only thing I changed. And they literally vanished overnight. I have no other explanation.
Okay. Look at that. Look at Mock with the IF data there.
I mean, it's probably just a complete weird thing, but yeah, that works for me. And so, yes, I am fasting, but I always do. So this is no different, really, than any other day.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
You guys, I wanted to share my screen really quickly because there's not going to be talks today because we have a hard stop at 8:45, and so just to make sure
no double D's.
No double D's.
Talks. Yeah, sorry guys.
And so because there's not going to be talks, I want to make sure that we mention our friends at mypillow.com/chicks right out of the gate to remind you about the huge bedding sale that they're having right now. Everything related to bedding is on super duper extra big sale. Especially really only when you use code chicks at mypillow.com/chicks. But you know how every now and then I like to go to the site to see if there's anything new. You guys, look at this. I have to have this.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I have to have it. So it's a beach towel with handles.
Oh my God,
that you can then make into your bag. So my favorite thing is this picture, right? Which you can take your stuff, but you can also use it as a towel. How awesome is this?
It is genius is what it is. That's so cute. And it's cute. It's really cute.
So cute. I just love it. I'm going to get it and everybody should get it with me. It'll be like a big giant party of getting the beach bag towels.
The next time we go someplace tropical, we'll all match, you guys. Oh my God. Let's match. It'll be like 6th grade. 6th grade, we all match.
It'll be so much fun, you guys.
Totally.
So anyway, check that out and check out all the huge bedding deals at mypillow.com/chicks. Do that. Okay, so we're just going to get right into all the news because there was so much that went on yesterday. Some of it we knew was going to happen. Like, for example, the Trump town hall. We knew that was going to happen as a head-to-head against the Nikki versus Ron debate, which was on CNN. So competing things that were happening last night. So we knew that was going to happen, and that happened. But what we did not realize was that Hunter Biden was going to show up at a congressional hearing that was meant to hold him in contempt. Like the contempt hearing was happening, and he decided, because he is of course filming this documentary, he probably thought this is going to be like a really great thing for me to show up to, and it caused absolute mayhem in that hearing. We have so many clips to share from it. There's some mixed reviews of Nancy Mace, who is my future, possibly, if she wins again in 2024, my future congresswoman. There were so many people that were angry at Hunter Biden's audacity to show up. And so this first clip that you're going to see is one of the rants that Nancy Mace had directly to Hunter Biden's face, because he's sitting there in the front row with his lawyer and his BFF. And she's like, you should be hauled off to jail. Here she is, just absolutely losing her mind.
You showed up on the Hill, on the Senate side, the day of that congressional subpoena to defy it and spit in the face of this committee. That's what you did. The question the American people are asking us is, what is Hunter Biden so afraid of? Why can't you show up for a congressional deposition? You're here for a political stunt. This is just a PR stunt to you. This is just a game that you are playing with the American people. You're playing with the truth. Hunter Biden wasn't afraid to sell access to Joe Biden to the highest bidder when he was in elected office. He wasn't afraid to trade on the Biden brand, peddle influence, and share those ill-gotten gains with members of his family, including Joe Biden. He wasn't afraid to compromise the integrity of the presidency and vice presidency by involving Joe Biden in shady business deals with our foreign adversaries. But Hunter Biden, you were too afraid to show up for a deposition. And you still can't today. I believe that Hunter Biden should be held completely in contempt. I think he should be hauled off to jail right now, because it wasn't long ago, too, my friends on the other side of the aisle, that you also believed in the power of a congressional subpoena. Not long ago at all. You believed in holding those who refused to comply with congressional subpoena accountable. And I stood with each and every one of you. I am the only member in this room today who has held a member of my own party in contempt of Congress for not showing up for a subpoena. And
she was badass yesterday. Hunter Biden is what happens when you don't discipline your kids. He is a walking example of that. Like that Gen Zer that we played yesterday was like, I don't want to work. I don't like to work. Her grown up is a Hunter Biden. Like that's what happens. So that's your future there. And parents, like, look around. If you have kids that are bitching and moaning because they don't like to work and they're just that Hunter Biden is your future. That guy is just insufferable in every way. And he believes he's untouchable, and he's right.
Yeah. That's the problem. And that's actually one of the criticisms that Nancy Mace got, because in the second rant that you're about to hear, she talks about how he's like the living example of white privilege, which was a really odd thing for her to say, because that's a leftist talking point, first of all. But he does have privilege. It's the privilege that goes with his name. It has nothing to do with his skin color. So, but I did love this clip for the fact that she talked about his balls in it, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Here it is.
Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls to come up here and...
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
I think it's great. I actually think it's great that she turned around the white privilege talking point and put it on them. I like that. I
didn't like that.
I mean, I think, listen, it isn't white privilege. It's Democrat privilege is what he has. And he does have the Biden. He has a lot of privileges. He has more privileges than anybody in that room, you know? But I do think it's interesting how she took the white privilege thing and sort of turned it around, because it takes a liberal talking point and turns it around and shoves it in their face. And it's like, well, what do you do with that? You know, they've been bitching and moaning about that for years. And so they're like, oh, well, crap. I guess it is an example of what we've been saying, even though we don't really believe in that garbage. She was able to turn it around and use it on them. And I guess it applies in this case. He does have privilege. Pick a privilege, any privilege. He's got it, you know?
Well, then her last little dig at him was this one.
My last message to you, Hunter Biden, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
FAFO.
That's right.
Yeah.
I kind of would have loved if she would have said that.
God,
that would have been hilarious.
F around and find out.
That's right.
God.
There's so many Democrats who are like, look, he's here. Why, if you guys really want to talk to him, then let's just have the hearing right now. He's totally agreed to have a hearing. That's not the point. That's not how depositions work. And all of the people who are making that argument are such disingenuous asshats that I cannot believe it. It's like, I responded to so many people on Twitter yesterday, and I was like, do you know what a deposition is? Like, do you know how those work? And you are a congressperson. So if you don't, that's terrifying that you actually don't know what a deposition is for, or why it's important. They have probably 25 hours minimum of questioning to do with him. They cannot use 5-minute chunks that they're allotted in a public hearing for, 3 hours before there's a lunch break or whatever. That's just so ridiculous. And just to give an example of the kind of questions that they have for him, the mountains and mountains of questions, Representative Fallon went off about that, and it was fantastic.
Having been an entrepreneur, business person myself, why create 30 shell companies if you have a legitimate business? What did your business do? What services did they provide? What goods did they sell? Who pockets seed money? I have never met anybody in business that pocketed seed money. It's the lifeblood of your venture. Why did you take millions from foreign entities? And who was the big guy? Mr. Hunter Biden, was it your dad? 10% for the big guy? When you said in that WhatsApp message that I'm sitting right here with my father, was your father really there? Will you give up your geolocations on your phone with your dad so we can determine if you guys were actually in the same room at that time? Why did you email your daughter or text her and tell her about, boy, I wish I didn't have to give 50% of my salary to dad? This all is just questions that under a deposition, when we have hundreds of hours, we could ask this. And I'm only one member of a committee of 60. I'm sure my colleagues would have plenty of questions as well. So this is what it's about. It's about justice. And think about who you're defending here. He's not worthy of your defense. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
Right? I love that.
And the production that he made yesterday, walking in there, what an arrogant SOB. I just thought, God, what a jerk this guy is. It's just unbelievable. The arrogance, the narcissism that was involved in yesterday. And he came in and he just wanted to get clips for a documentary so he can make money off of that. Because he's not made enough money off the American people. I mean, it's just gross. The guy is so disgusting in every way. And the fact that Democrats would even defend this guy shows you who they are.
Right. Like, how are they not offended at the circus that he's bringing to their proceedings?
Because they're Democrats, If this were Donald Trump Jr., it would once again, it's a two-tier system. Once again, it's a double standard. I mean, I watched that spectacle yesterday and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, who are these people? How would you ever want to align yourself with Democrats at this point? They look ridiculous. It's a freaking clown show over there. My God.
It is. And even MSNBC was saying as much when this was happening live, and they were, of course, having whatever show that they had at this time. Even their commentary, I was like, wow, they even recognize this for the crap show that it is. Listen to this.
This is just an absolute mess. So this hearing is a clown show. I mean, it's unbelievable and just insanity. I think him showing up really just amped up the ability of people to use his presence there to make this a real PR moment.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you that he's just an absolute arrogant prick. There's no other way if that offends anybody, but that's what he is. That's all I could think of yesterday. I'm like, wow, the audacity, of him to do that in our institutions because he thinks he's above everything because he's Hunter Biden. Right. And he can do no wrong and he can do whatever he wants because his daddy will get him out of it. I mean, you're gross, dude. Grow up.
Well, and then there was the moment because there were a lot of representatives who kind of had their moments to get in his face and yell at him and tell him what a total asshat he is. And then when it became Marjorie Taylor Greene's turn, he was like, I'm out. And he just got up and took his two buddies and started walking out. And that's when things absolutely exploded. Here's that moment.
Gentleman's time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Whoa!
Oh. I like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
I think it's clear and obvious for everyone watching this hearing today that Hunter Biden is terrified of strong conservative Republican women because he can't even face my words as I was about to speak to him. What a coward.
Yeah, he's afraid of women that aren't underage or paid for.
I mean, that was like, what was his point in even going then? Like, what are you doing except bringing attention?
He's
He's so stupid.
The guy just wants attention. He's just like, look at me, look at me. He's had it all of his life. He's a narcissist. He just wants attention. It's gross. Again, it's like, these are the kids who are not disciplined. He is that kid. Good Lord.
Oh my gosh, what a piece of crap. So then, of course, you saw the mayhem as he was walking out. Then all of the reporters and camera people and everybody were like, oh my God, we got to follow him. We got to follow him. And I don't know who the reporter was that was asking him if he is still on crack and what kind of crack he uses. But that was an actual thing that happened. Here is the video evidence.
Hunter, what's your favorite type of crack? Are you on crack today?
Are you on crack right now?
What kind of crack is it? Crack is whack.
That is a thing that actually happened. And then Peter Doocy's wife actually got a question in to which he responded. And then he backed off because he was like, "Ooh, she's scary." But she was good. Check her out.
Mr. Biden, why did you put your dad on speakerphone with your business partners if he had no involvement in your business?
Do you have a dad? Did he call you?
Yes.
Answer the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
But why did you need to talk to him during business meetings if he had nothing to do with your business?
Oh my God, I love that that's Peter Doocy's wife. I love that so much. Yeah.
She is not playing.
That
she
household,
is not playing around.
That whole house isn't playing. They're not playing.
And then it cut off right there. But his answer to her when she said that was, "You're dangerous. You're very dangerous."
Really?
Okay. All right. Okay, Hunter.
Yeah,
My
he
God.
does not like conservative women at all. No.
And then there was the moment where after he left, then everybody in that congressional hearing was like taking their turns to say, all the Democrats were like, "He's just a poor white boy." Obviously they didn't say that, but they were basically taking his side and saying this is all, it's all a big show by Republicans. There's nothing going on. This is just their way of getting at his dad, blah, blah, blah. And then there was Representative Jayapal, who had an unfortunate, what do they call them? A Freudian slip.
Oh,
is that
yes.
what they call them?
A Freudian slip. Mm-hmm.
Here it is.
Appreciate the passion from my friend across the aisle and the outrage. I think we're all outraged about many things. But if we're going to talk about outrageous things that have happened or things that have never happened, let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection. And maybe that too.
Yeah, you can talk about that too, I guess.
Maybe we should talk about that too. The president incited an insurrection.
I'm sorry, what does that have to do with anything that happened?
It doesn't have anything to do with anything, but she was clearly thinking about Hunter Biden.
The Dems are a bunch of pervs, man.
I guess
they are a bunch of pervs.
She saw those tapes, huh? She was looking at those, weren't you, Jayapal? Checking out those tapes on the down low.
Oh my
Inciting an
God.
erection. Yeah. Oh my God, these people are so gross.
Well, and then afterwards, just the chatter about and their responses to what happened and their ways of defending Hunter and saying how he really was there to give his testimony. He was doing exactly what he was told. He was not in contempt at all. It was such gaslighting that it was absolutely incredible. Here's a great example from Representative, I forget her first name. Is it Jasmine? Jasmine Crockett? That
Yes.
really
I do
Jasmine?
believe it's Jasmine. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
It's Jasmine. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So here's her explaining how this was not at all. He is not in contempt. See if this makes sense to you.
And I want people to understand about contempt. Contempt is usually this intentional disregard. What Hunter has done is made it clear that he is not intentionally disregarding anything.
What?
Chris Hayes is like, yes, stupid lady.
He's
yes.
not intentionally disregard. He had a press conference outside the building he was supposed to give a deposition in. That's not intentional?
No, they're there. They're
oh my
there.
God.
Stupid.
Oh my God.
Stupid conservative lady. They're there. Mm-hmm. Listen, I cannot believe that you are dissing an addict. How dare you? He's an addict, Knock. You're an addictist.
Right. That's exactly right.
Phobe. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, and you can imagine that KJP got some questions about this, none of which, of course, she was willing to answer. And it just amazes me that as we, the taxpayers, are paying for this clown's secret service to follow him around while he shoots his documentary, she has the audacity to explain to us, well, she's not going to say anything because he's a private citizen.
Okay.
Did the president speak to his son before or after his appearance on Capitol Hill?
I'm not going to speak to the president's private conversation with his family.
And is there any response to what Representative Nancy Mace said about Hunter Biden today? She's called him, quote, the epitome of white privilege, and that Hunter should be arrested right here, right now, and go to jail.
I'm not going to respond to that.
Why would she respond to any of that? Why would she respond? It's like, I'm surprised she didn't say, let me be clear. Let me be completely clear. I'm not going to respond to that.
And then the guy that took the cake for sure, and this will be the final clip about this complete fiasco, James Clyburn was asked about whether Hunter Biden is at this point a huge distraction at a minimum or at a maximum a liability to his dad and his dad's campaign. And Clyburn's answer is so ridiculous that I cannot even believe it is real. That's how bad it is. And go.
No doubt. Let me ask you two final questions. One, would you have advised Hunter Biden to appear at today's hearing? How big of a distraction, liability is he to the president's reelection bid?
Well, I think it is a distraction, but I don't think it's a liability. I think that all this is going to do is demonstrate what a good father Joe Biden is.
Oh, my God. No. Yeah, that's absolutely what it demonstrates. Right, guys? I mean, that's totally what I think of. I think, man, he did a bang-up job parenting this one. I mean, clearly. We're all thinking that. Okay. All right, Clyburn.
How is that a real answer? Like, how is that real?
Yeah. This is how Democrats parent their children. And they grow up to be 53-year-old crackhead losers. Okay.
Wow. That was an answer.
Good job, Joe Biden. Good job with the dadding.
Shelly, thank you. Shelly says, sending in all the clowns. The circus is on fire. Indeed. My God. All right. So that happened. I think the vote on the contempt issue, I don't even know when it's happening. I think maybe early next week is when the vote is actually being taken. But all that happened, and we don't even know if he's going to be held in contempt or not. So, and then if he is held in contempt, because of course there is a slim majority in the House of Republicans, do we really think that the DOJ is going to prosecute?
No.
I mean, come on. There's no way that's happening.
Somebody said yesterday there used to be a jail like right down in that building, right in the bottom of that building. But that's how it used to be done. And they could have just taken him down there and put him in jail. But that's not how. But now we're soft.
Yeah, that's not going to
That would have been great to watch, though, wouldn't it? If we could have seen him be cuffed and like taken into like custody right then and there, it would have been awesome. But
he probably would have liked it and would have been telling his camera crew, make sure to get my good side.
Right.
You know,
is there a good side? Is there? Yeah.
All right, moving on. We need to talk about the fact that Christie has decided to suspend his campaign. I've never understood that term ever. I don't understand. It's not a suspension. It is a termination. It is the extinguishing of his campaign.
Yes.
It is over and done so. Amazingly, though, Asa Hutchinson is still in this race, you guys.
Oh my God.
He has not exited the race.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, it is
Like,
incredible. I had no idea
what?
until you said that just right now. I forgot completely about him. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's true. He's actually still in the race. Christie, of course, this was anticipated about a half hour, 45 minutes ahead of his actual announcement. So he sent out a press release, I guess, or his team let all the media know Christie is making a big announcement at 5:00 Eastern. So then all the at least Fox, which was what I was watching at the time, Fox immediately went to it, probably assuming that he would make the announcement right out of the gate. No.
Oh my
He
God.
spent way too long. Way too long.
You and I were like
getting to the
back
point.
and forth, and I was just like, when is this going to end? I cannot with this guy. Like, he just keeps talking and talking. And you were like, his wife is even bored. His wife is falling asleep.
She started out, by the way, beaming. Like, she could not stop smiling. She was so excited that he was getting out. Like, you could tell how excited she was. But then, like, even she was just like it was enough.
Like, honey, like, get to the point, for crying out loud. You're talking like, just on and on. It was he was a nightmare. And then he never endorsed anybody. You're supposed to do that. That's kind of like the protocol, right? Like, you get out, you say, I suck, I never had a chance, like, in your own little way. And then you say, all right, this is who I'm going to endorse now. He never did that.
He never did that. And in fact, he did much worse. He criticized the two primary candidates that are in this against Trump. But first, we'll show you the actual piece of the announcement, the actual announcing of the announcement. Just that little clip. I'm not going to bore you with all of his rigmarole, but here's when he actually said it.
Clear to me tonight that there isn't a path for me to win the nomination, which is why I'm suspending my campaign tonight for President of the United States. I know, and I can see it from some of the faces here, that I'm disappointing some people by doing this.
Everybody's like, oh my God, we're so disappointed. Really, everybody's disappointed.
So disappointed, you guys. But then shortly after the announcement, it was completely overshadowed by the fact that he was caught in a hot mic moment trashing both Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. Now, unfortunately, it cuts off like right when he's talking about DeSantis, and that it's not just me like cutting it off, right? I can't find any longer version of the hot mic clip, but he talks about how like DeSantis is terrified or petrified, I think is the word that he uses, that you'll hear at the end. But mostly, this is about Nikki Haley, who everybody kind of presumed that he would get behind as part of this announcement.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, and people are still saying it's going to help her more than it would help DeSantis or anybody else.
Why? Because he did it because he's out, or because he didn't? Why?
Well, they think it's going to help Nikki like his exit is going to help Nikki the most because they're the most similar. If you think about it,
they are the most similar. Okay,
yeah,
I gotcha.
Yeah. So here he is. It's very clear audio. This wasn't like muffled or hard to hear. It's plenty easy to hear.
People don't want to hear it, Wayne. They don't want to hear it. We know we're right, but they don't want to hear it. Right. And there's, we couldn't have been any clearer. Right. We couldn't have been any more direct or worked any harder. So,
Don't forget she spent $68 million.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent like
when you give land to China and places like that.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, she spent $68 million so far, just on TV. Spent $68 million so far, $59 million by DeSantis, and we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment, And she's going to get smoked. And you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
Oh my God.
She's still 20 points behind Trump in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
And he's still going to carry out, right?
Yes. Oh, I talked to DeSantis called me, petrified that I would.
He's probably getting out after Iowa.
Well,
and that's where it ends. And I've listened to it a million times and I can't understand what he's saying DeSantis is petrified of. But that was the hot mic moment.
And he's getting out after, and she's going to get smoked. She's not up to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a jerk. I mean, listen, like, just keep your mouth shut. You don't think there's going to be hot mics around?
Right. God, then DeSantis responded initially to this by saying, I agree that she's going to get smoked. And then when people started saying, yeah, but what about the comment that he made about you? And I loved it. His answer was, I've been to Fallujah and Ramadi. This is nothing.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. That's, I
So
mean, has Chris
he's
Christie been there? No.
I don't think he would
Unless
be
they have
eligible.
snacks.
Robin Zecca, thank you so much. She says, Jayapal, please. And then Jet Ison, thank you very much. He sent, or she sent, I'm not sure, 420 with a little winky face.
I see what you did there. I see what you did.
And then Paula Johnson, thank you. Paula says, and that circus fire is intense. Intense.
I see what you did there too.
We got some jokesters here in the crowd today.
Right? I love it.
I love it too. And I also love dogs.
Oh my God.
And I know so many of our listeners and watchers love their dogs too. Is your dog, can we see?
He's right. He's at my feet.
He's at your feet.
If you see me with my arm like this, doing this, it's because I'm giving him a little neck massage or something. I'm trying to soothe him today.
Well, how is Teddy Moosh Bear responding to Rough Greens?
He's loving it. He's loving it. He's doing great. And you know, he didn't get that at his last house.
Oh, there's no way. There's no way.
No.
Rough Greens is what dog-loving parents give to their dogs because they care about them and want to live their longest, bestest lives. This is Rough Greens. This little bag is filled with green powder that was developed by naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, and it is chock full of all the missing minerals, nutrients, vitamins, omegas that your dry dog food doesn't have. So not to say that there's anything wrong with dry dog food, there's not, but this sprinkled on top of it will definitely make sure that your dog is getting everything they need from a health perspective, from a vitamins and supplements perspective every single day. And it will ensure that they live their longest, healthiest lives. And so you can try it for free because our dogs love it. As you just heard, my dogs go crazy for it. But if you don't know, like if your dog is very finicky and you just don't know, the great news is that you can try a Jumpstart trial bag of it for free. All you have to do is go to Rough Chicks, that's RUFF, roughchicks.com. All you do is cover shipping and they will send you your Jumpstart trial bag of it for free. You can give it to your dogs. You're going to see how much they love it. And then you can decide I got to do this every day because this is the best thing for my dogs.
And they have great treats. Really, really great treats. That don't upset your dog's stomachs. Also, Sandy had no idea that I have Theo, but you can watch some of our other
Oh yeah, you got to catch up, girl.
You got to catch up before we went on holiday. And you can catch up about the dog. Yeah.
Robin Zecca, thank you. Robin says we could save so much money if we paid KJP per question answered.
Oh my God. She'd be poor.
But we would all be doing a lot better. A lot better. Yeah. Okay, so right after that hot mic moment, or not right after, but shortly thereafter, and you know that went viral very, very quickly. So it was clear that Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis were going to go into their debate against each other, knowing that had just happened. And I don't know if that's something that would rattle them or not rattle them. I have no idea. But their debate, which I did not watch, but I do have all the good clips from,
right?
Apparently was heated at times. And there was a new tactic that Nikki Haley decided to employ at this debate. And that was to mention a new website that she has started. She and her team have started, DeSantisLies.com, which has already been fact checked by PolitiFact because she sourced a lot of things from PolitiFact and then missed the nuance that they had in their reporting and then just said, he lies. And so she mentioned that website name no fewer than 16 times. And I think what was an hour-long debate, to the point where a lot of people on Twitter were like, Nikki, ixnay on the website way. Okay.
Yeah,
like it's too much. It was just weird. And that seemed to be her the way that she answered a lot of his points, a lot of the questions. So we'll get to some clips because the first one was probably his best zinger. At the end of this clip, you'll hear what I'm talking about. He's responding to her view on Ukraine.
Doesn't articulate how this comes to an end, except she was asked after the last debate by, I believe, Megyn Kelly, and she said, you bring it to an end by bringing Ukraine into NATO. But of course, we're a NATO country. So if you bring Ukraine into NATO, that puts the United States at war. Megyn said that to her, and then she basically gave a word salad as to how you go from there. So they have sent cash. She supports this $106 billion that they're trying to get through Congress. Where's some of that money going? They've done tens of billions of dollars to pay salaries for Ukrainian government bureaucrats. They've paid pensions for Ukrainian retirees with your tax dollars. We've got homeless veterans. We have all these problems. This is the UN way of thinking, that we're somehow globalists and we have unlimited resources to do. You know, I think here's the problem. You can take the ambassador out of the United Nations, but you can't take the United Nations out of the ambassador.
That was a pretty good line.
That was a pretty good line.
Pretty darn good line. Yeah. I mean, we asked her that question when we had her on our show about the pensions and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's like, and she kind of just digs her heels in on that.
Well, she's very politicky, you know, in many of her answers. And so just to give you an idea of what it sounded like when she first introduced this new website gimmick of hers, this is the clip where she introduced it for the first time. And then just remember, she mentioned it no fewer than 16 times after this.
But you're going to find out tonight that there's going to be a lot of Ron's lies that have happened. There are at least a couple of dozen so far that he's done. So what we're going to do is, rather than have him go and tell you all these lies, you can go to DeSantisLies.com and look at all of those. There's at least 24 lies that he's told about me, and you can see where fact checkers say exactly what's going to happen and exactly why it's wrong. So it will cover the fact that he's only mad about the donors because the donors used to be with him, but they're no longer with him now. And that's because he's upset about the fact that his campaign is exploding. You're going to see the fact that he has switched his policies multiple times, and we'll call that out tonight. But every time he lies, Drake University, don't turn this into a drinking game because you will be overserved by the end of the night.
Well, I think this is...
That was her zinger.
That was clever, right? That was okay. Don't turn it into a drinking game. Okay, that was something. So, I mean, I guess he could do the same about her, though, right? He could start a website and call out, because I mean, there's been a couple things that she said, "Oh, I didn't say that," over the past couple weeks, and
I am so glad that you're saying that, because that's exactly what his response was.
Okay,
check this out.
I think this is interesting because you can actually go to RonDeSantis.com, because Nikki Haley has this tactic. If you hold her accountable to her record, first she'll say, I never said that. Well, one good rule of thumb, if she says she's never said something, that definitely means she said it. And then she'll say, you're lying, you're lying. That means not only did she say it, but she's on videotape saying it. And so we have all the greatest hits. The reality is Nikki Haley is not somebody that has been willing to stand in and fight on behalf of conservatives. You know, she ran for governor saying she was going to do universal school choice, and she caved to the teachers union. She didn't deliver that. In Florida, I delivered the largest expansion of school choice in the history of the United States. I beat the teachers union. And you know what the results are? When she was governor of South Carolina, she was rated 50th in education, dead last. You know where Florida is under my watch? #1 in the nation.
Your response, Governor Haley? Go to DeSantis Live.
And she was like, you should go to DeSantisLies.com and see how much he lies.
To see how much he lies about me. Not so much about policies and stuff like that, but see how much he's lied about me. It's like, it's just I gotta hate this part.
I know. It's the worst.
This is what I really hate about primaries, and I hate about campaigning. And we've been through this before, and it just gets so freaking ugly. And it's like the hot mics with Christie and the, you know, she's not up to this, and he's a jerk, and I hate her. I hate his wife. And you know what I mean? It's like, it just is all so dumb. All these people suck, you know? They're just, but they're clawing their way to the top, which I guess is part of the deal, you know, I guess, but it's like, she lies, he lies, everybody lies. Well, I mean,
welcome to politics.
Yeah. Thank you.
And maybe that was Jake Tapper's point in asking this ridiculous question, which we've made fun of in the past at previous debates, where it's like the moderators just have this need to make nice. They want everybody to like make up at the end of a really brutal, knockdown, drag out fight. And so I don't even remember which of the previous debates it happened or who asked the question about what nice thing can you say about your competitors, which was so dumb. And Jake Tapper did it again. And it is the most awkward and uncomfortable part of this debate that I saw.
What do you admire about Governor Haley?
His smile.
Well, look, I mean, I think that, at the United Nations, I did think that she spoke out strongly on some key issues, and I appreciated that. I also appreciate the state of South Carolina. My wife is a College of Charleston graduate. Her parents lived there for many, many years. And so it is a wonderful state. There's a lot of great people there. And I think to be able to have been governor there is a great achievement. And I really appreciate everyone I've gotten to meet in South Carolina.
Governor Haley, what do you admire about Governor DeSantis?
I think he's been a good governor.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to squeeze in another quick break, and we'll be right back with more from the Republican debate.
Oh my God. So angry.
Yikes.
Okay. So yeah. I mean, at least he came up with some stuff to say about her, but you're right. The question sucks.
It's just so dumb.
The question totally. Yeah, the question blows. Nobody wants to say that. But I mean, they both were like, you're a good governor. You're a good governor. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, whatever.
That was so awkward and cringy and yikes. Oh my gosh. Now, what's interesting is that I've seen mixed reviews on who won that debate. So Fox News said Nikki won. And I think they're the only ones that I've seen say Nikki won. Most other outlets that I've seen this morning, at least, are saying that DeSantis was a clear winner. Scott Jennings on CNN kind of broke down. I think he summarized the criticism of Nikki that I've seen elsewhere pretty well. So here is the CNN panel's take.
I'll answer Abby's question. I think DeSantis won tonight. I think the first 12 or 15 minutes didn't help either of them. I thought the initial squabbles made them both look fairly small, frankly. But I think DeSantis settled down as the night went on, and Haley, to Axe's point, continued to be rattled. I think Haley drastically overplayed her hand on this website business. Yeah. I think it hurt her. I think it cratered her throughout the night. And it sounded like someone, to me, the more she went to that well, like someone who couldn't defend their own record. I mean, it became this crutch. It was like a rhetorical sandwich board.
Yes.
And it didn't, I think that the more she went to it, the more annoying, frankly, it seemed throughout the night. I thought the immigration exchange, to your point, was critical, and I thought DeSantis won on that.
It's like somebody told her to do that.
Yeah.
It's like she had an advisor say, just keep referring to the website. And it's just, no, it's not.
Because then it does feel like it's a crutch if you rely on it like that. I don't know.
You got to answer the freaking questions, which is why people like debate. They like spirited debate. They want to hear you talk. They don't want you to just refer to a freaking website.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. And at the same time as this debate was happening, Trump was doing his Fox News town hall. And so we've got some clips of that. You guys know where I stand on Trump. He is somebody that I think is probably going to be our nominee, and I will probably then vote for him if that is the case. So, but he's not my preferred candidate, and it's because of just the meanness and because of the lies. And one of the examples of the lies is the fact that he continues to say, which I think everybody that is thinking rationally knows this is a lie, that Florida was like the big shutdown state and that DeSantis and Fauci are BFFs. I mean, like, that's so just patently ridiculous on every level to anyone that remembers what actually happened in reality.
For all of us who lived through it, it is kind of dumb. It is really dumb.
Just, it doesn't, I don't understand why he does it.
Like, don't pick that one. Don't pick that one.
Right. Mm-hmm. So this first clip is of him talking about, there was a question from the audience, do you promise to not shut things down again? And it was funny because at the beginning of his answer, he was like, now, when you say that, are you talking about the budget or are you talking about COVID? Which I thought was great because I think he would be all in favor of shutting down government over these budget talks. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to COVID, he said, no, that he wouldn't shut it down, that he didn't shut things down, which I was also like, wait, you are the one up there with Fauci talking about 15 days to slow down the curve or whatever.
Yeah.
So you were a part of that and you can't deny it. But he always wants to shift the focus to DeSantis, as he does right here.
Florida did shut down. Ron DeSantis shut down, or as he's known, Ron DeSanctimonious. He shut his state down very violently, actually, and shut the highways down, the roads down. But we had, I'm a federalist in a sense because that's the federalist way. No, I didn't actually have a shutdown, despite the fact that some people wanted to and some people didn't want to. But we had some great governors. The governors that did the best job were Republican governors, and they were the ones that didn't shut down.
And he was one of them.
Thank you very much.
That's what
Love you.
Appreciate it.
So, but a lot of people say, that you listened too much to Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
You were president at the time, could have perhaps influenced keeping things more open. And of course, Ron DeSantis would definitely argue with your characterization of how he handled it.
But if you go back and look at the records, you will see that the biggest fan of Dr. Fauci was Ron DeSanctimonious. He
just like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, people fled to Florida and you can't, you can't deny that. I mean, that's just, it's like that. There's data to back that up. People left other states to go to Florida because Florida was free. Florida and Texas are two states that people were like they were leaving other states, going to Florida and Texas. Why is that? It's because they did such a great job remaining free. I was one of the people that was like, I left Indiana and went to Texas, and Indiana was pretty free, I guess, free-ish, at least where we lived. Because we were like we were in an area that was somewhat free. But then when we went to Texas, we were like, God, this is exponentially better. And I'm sure a lot of people felt that way when they moved to Florida. They were like,
absolutely,
damn, this is awesome. And it's because of what? It's because of the leadership there. It's because of the policies that were in place. So that's just, I feel like that it was a little disingenuous. You can't, it's weird. You can't say that he didn't do a good job with COVID because he was
the model. And you can go to former Trump rallies where he talked about DeSantis being the model.
Yeah.
So it's just dumb. I don't know why he's trying to rewrite history.
You can't rewrite history. And it's like, pick on somebody else. You know what I mean? But that's a weird thing to pick on. I think that is kind of weird.
Trump also believes, and I am not a financial and certainly not a stock market expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know if this is even possible to be true. Tell me what you think, because Trump has an answer for why the stock market is so high right now. Here is his explanation.
We have a situation which I believe the stock market goes up because I'm leading. I think if I wasn't leading, the stock market would be 25% lower. And I think, frankly, if I didn't win, I think the stock market would crash.
Yeah, but you said when there's a crash, I hope it's going to be during this next 12 months because I don't want to be Herbert Hoover.
Well, I think there will be a crash if I don't win. And I say that, and I do not want to be Herbert Hoover. Do you know who Herbert Hoover was? 1929, he was the president, and that was not a good time to be. I don't want to be Herbert Hoover, and I won't be Herbert Hoover.
So,
okay, well, I don't
because he's leading the polls.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to talk to somebody who does financial analysis in order to talk about that subject, because
we're gonna ask Zach Abraham. That's what we're going to do. We're going to ask him that next time we
have to talk. I think that's a great thing to talk to him about, because I honestly don't know. Now, do I think that presidents they help to, I guess, guide like what's happening in the markets? Yeah. Who's in office will skew that one way or the other. I do believe that, but I mean, I don't know if he's going to make it like exponentially better, and it's going to take a while probably for him to fix the economy. It's not going to be like an overnight thing if and when he gets into office.
I mean, I think what he's saying is businesses, which make up the stock market, are hopeful that he is going to win, and therefore that's why the market is doing well. I mean, I don't know if that's a thing that can happen, but maybe it is. I just do not know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was an interesting clip. There's a woman there who apparently, I think Brett and Martha thought that she was an undecided that was leaning towards DeSantis, but it turns out that they find out, as you'll hear, that she's like solidly in the tank for DeSantis and called Trump out on his meanness to people that he hired. And now, there's so many people that worked for Trump that he hired that he's now talks trash about. And his answer to that is interesting because he ends up harping on the loyalty issue once again. So here is that Q&A.
So that's absolutely true. So let's hear from Jane Jack, who is a teacher from Rhodes, Iowa. Jane, thank you so much for being here. And you said that you plan to caucus for DeSantis, but you're not completely decided. Is that right?
No, I am firmly, I will be caucusing for DeSantis. But I will say, Mr. President, I am extremely grateful that in your first term, you accomplished so many great things, but it was also with the help of many great people. Since that time, you have publicly criticized and personally demeaned so many of them. If you're given 4 more years, how will you convince good people to take the risk of working with you?
So I have a lot of people that want to work with me. I have people calling just as I'm getting on the stage. I had a call from 2 of the very most important people in the military who want to come to work for me. Everybody wants to come to work for us. We're going to have no trouble. We had great people. We had a couple that were not great, stiffs, as I would call them. But that's true with anybody. But now I've gotten to know Washington. I've gotten to know the people. I know the best. I know the smart ones, the dumb ones, the weak ones, the strong ones. And I think you're going to see something like you've never seen before. And the people in this room know it. We did an amazing job. And the reason, we have support is because of the job we did. Now, you like Ron DeSantis, but he wouldn't even be around today. He'd be working in a pizza shop or perhaps a law firm if I didn't endorse him. I endorsed him, took him from nothing to winning an election. And I was all for him. And then one day he said he'd run against me 4 years later after I got him in. And I said, that's not a loyal person. We can't have that. That's not a loyal person.
I feel like Ron DeSantis wouldn't be working in a pizza shop. I mean, come on. Are you serious?
That's been a line. I think it's because he used to call him Ron Meatball DeSantis.
Is that what it is?
That's the connection to a pizza. I don't know.
Okay.
I cannot. I don't want to be in that brain.
I mean, I feel like he wouldn't be doing that. He has a little bit of a resume. I don't know. It's just like I feel like he'd be doing a little bit more. Nothing against people who work in pizza shops. I'm just saying. I feel like. Anyway, but listen, maybe he has learned. Maybe Trump, because he did do 4 years in the swamp, maybe he has learned and he can hire more effectively and accordingly this time around. Maybe he's like, it's kind of like you and I doing this for 15 years. The first couple years, we were a little bit trusting. And then by around year 3 or 4, we were not trusting anymore. You know what I mean? Because people suck in this industry and they're terrible and they're soul sucking and they will take advantage of you and they do take advantage of you. And maybe it took him a while. I can't believe that it took him a while to learn that because he's been in business for so long. But politics is probably a little different than business.
Yeah.
There's nothing like politics.
But I mean, this is still the guy that is praising Rana at all of his rallies.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he's got to get rid of her.
I don't know how much he's learned. Like his answer to why are you so mean and demeaning to people that you personally selected was, I hire all the greatest people. So I mean,
well, he's got to get rid of her, and hopefully there will be somebody in his ear saying she is a loser.
Yeah, she's been absolutely worthless. Why are you still praising her? I don't get it. Yeah, and then I think to that woman's point, like to trash Kayleigh McEnany, for example, people that really were great for him and who have been super supportive, just because she praised DeSantis, I think on a one of her TV shows at some point, and he ripped her to shreds. And it's that kind of thing I think that woman was trying to get him to address, and he just ended up saying it's a loyalty thing. And the loyalty argument is creepy AF.
Well, I mean,
he's not a freaking king.
Loyalty doesn't equal effectiveness or being good at your job. So that's another thing. It's sort of like, like Rana could be very, very loyal to him, but she's useless.
Right.
She is a useless person in that position. She's just sucking money off of all of us. So he needs to recognize that. Hopefully this time around he will.
Well, and Megyn Kelly, it was interesting because Megyn posted a tweet. She was going back and forth between the Nikki and Ron debate and the Trump town hall, because of course, again, they were at the same time. And she kind of hit the nail on the head when it comes to why Trump is such a draw. And so here is what she tweeted. She said, switching between CNN and Fox, and there just is no comparison. Trump on TV is totally compelling. He's funny, he's interesting, and he was very on tonight. You see the two and think, okay, policy, principle points, what if? And then you see Donald Trump and remember. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, right? Like it makes sense how he is able to continue to have just piles and piles of people who are, to his point, loyal. They will never, ever, ever turn away from him. And she's right that he can be extremely charming and hilarious. And there was this point where he was asked about who he would pick for VP, and his answer was like the perfect example of exactly what she's talking about. He was hysterical. Listen.
Who would be in the running for vice president?
Well, I can't tell you that really. I mean, I know who it's going to be.
Give us a hint.
I'll give you. We'll do another show sometime.
Well, what about any of the people who you've run against? Would you be open to mending fences with any of them?
I will. I've already started to like Christie better.
Christie for vice president?
I don't see it. I don't see it. That would be an upset. Christie for vice president.
You know,
ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce.
So funny.
No, I do want to get to this other question.
That is hysterical. I mean, I think. Listen, it could be anybody. It could be if he already knows. Yeah, he knows who it is. That's so funny. He knows who it is. God, you guys, it could be anybody. It could be Vivek, is just like chomping at the bit to be that person. He doesn't say it, but he's just like saying, well, I mean, I could be vice president and then be president in 4 more years.
I mean, who do you think, who do you really, really think it will be?
I think it'll be a woman. I think it's going to be a woman. I don't know. I lean towards Christie Noem. Somebody like her, but I don't know. He may pick like a Carrie Lake or something. I don't know. I don't know.
What about Sarah Sanders? Would he pick Sarah Sanders, who's been governing?
No,
he would not.
I don't think he's going to pick her. I don't think she's. I'm sorry, my dog is trying to get underneath my desk. I don't think he's going to pick her because I don't think she is. I love her. I think she's fantastic, but I don't think she's as out there. She's not as people don't know her as much. She's not as, I don't think she's like as charismatic as a lot of other people that he could pick. Cause that's what he's all about. He's all about personality and charisma. And that's who he is. He's Trump, he's got to have somebody.
I hear Elise Stefanik's name thrown around also.
That would be fine. I just think he needs somebody who has governed, who has been a governor. That's why I lean towards Christie Noem, because she has governed a state. And so she's got that experience, that leadership governing experience. And so somebody like that would be tremendous and huge.
Which is why it would be I think Carrie Lake would be a horrible choice because she comes from literally the same background. I mean, not the same background, but she's a media star. That's her job experience.
Media. Yeah, I don't think that would be. She needs to have experience governing before she becomes like a vice president. Yeah, I totally agree. Somebody said Tulsi Gabbard. That would be a fantastic
so
pick too. Be amazing because that would pull a lot more people like independents in. And so that would be a fantastic pick too.
Oh my God, no, not Don Jr. That would be a disaster. Oh my God,
total disaster.
You can't have a family ticket.
No.
Oh my God, no, absolutely not.
No.
Somebody said Candace Owens.
She'd be good, but I mean, she
doesn't have any experience.
Doesn't have any experience. We can't have somebody from media doing this. I mean, everybody's like saying Tucker, and I don't even think Tucker would be. I just don't think that's a good idea. What are we doing? I think
people are throwing around the name Ben Carson, who's recently endorsed Trump. So that he's so gentle though. And maybe that's what Trump would want because Ben Carson will never push back against him.
He's so sweet.
He's so soft and
such
gentle.
A good man.
That's right. Candace is in the tank for Vivek. In fact, she's campaigning with him. So I don't think that's going to be.
She's not going to
be a thing.
Although if asked, she'd probably do it. If asked, she would probably do it. Mock.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think she probably would.
Right.
And that's true. She's not old enough yet. She needs to be 35, and somebody's saying that they think she's only 34.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
I think you're right, though. I think it will be a woman. I'm just not entirely sure which
My
woman.
bet would be on Christie Noam.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Stuart the Brit, hello. Stuart the Brit says some for the whiskey shot after your teeth, gum, face operation today. I'm not doing any of that today.
Just a blood draw.
I'm just doing a blood draw. At the end of the month, January 26th, you can also mark your calendars that it'll be an early start show. That's when I'm having the other side of my gums done. So that's not going to be fun. But nothing big deal today. It's just the pre-scheduled appointment. And I'm sorry to throw everybody off just right after we changed our time. But we'll get back to tomorrow will be a normal start time of 8 a.m. Eastern. So we'll be back on track.
7 Central.
7 Central.
Mm-hmm.
There was an amazing tweet or a headline that it's just going to blow your mind in light of the fact that we've talked so much this week about Lloyd Austin and the whole hullabaloo surrounding his hospital stay, which apparently he's still in the hospital, which I didn't know until yesterday. Somebody said that and I was like, he's still there?
Yeah.
What? Anyway, look at this headline. What do you see that's wrong with this headline that says White House orders cabinet secretaries to notify if unable to perform duties amid Lloyd Austin scandal?
Notify what? Like what? Why are? Oh my God! Like,
was this not already a procedure that was in place?
Right. This is the thing. Like, what in the world? Why does this have to be a headline?
What?
This is insanity. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
What are we doing?
So now they're like, maybe if there's like a really important person in our administration unable to perform their duties, people should know. Let's put that let's make that a process.
The fact that they have to tell people this is insane. God, this is the most inept administration in history. Nobody,
incredible.
It's like they're not adults. They don't know how to do their jobs.
Yeah,
it's outrageous.
It is absolutely incredible. An interesting historical thing took place in St. Paul, Minnesota, and perhaps you've heard about it. If you haven't, here is that one reporter whose name I can never remember to tell you all about it.
I think you'll like this story. History was made in Minnesota's capital city of St. Paul today, or should we say herstory was made. St. Paul's new city council was sworn in this afternoon, made up entirely of women. And get this, 6 of the 7 council members are women of color, and they are all under the age of 40. 4 of them are new members and say that affordable housing and access to child care are some of their top priorities.
Oh my God.
Congratulations to them and the people of St. Paul. I am betting that they get some stuff done.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How is this diverse or equitable? Or it's like, sounds dreadful to me. Like, seriously. And as a woman, I'm saying that I'm a woman, like an actual woman. And, you and I both worked in corporate America for collectively like half a century before we became Chicks on the Right. That's a long ass time, but we did that. And I got to tell you, like, I've worked with women, I've worked with men. If I walked into an all female workplace in corporate America, I would be like that little baby in the meme that walked in and like just walked right out. Oh crap. Because I would not, no offense. I just don't want to work with all women. I don't want to. I need to have some dudes in there to kind of shake it up. Plus I like working with dudes. I like it, So wow, a bunch of women. Can you imagine the squabbling and the,
oh my God. I just don't think this is a good idea. And the feminists out there would be like, you're just showing your internalized misogyny.
Okay, fine. I'm a misogynist then. Whatever.
Whatever. I think this is a
But it's not
disaster.
diverse. How is this diverse? What are we doing to men? Like when we say we want an all-female workforce and then no men are present. What is that? What are you saying to men? You're not needed. You're not wanted here. We don't need you. We don't want you. I hate that. I hate that. It's terrible messaging. I hate that narrative. I like men. I want men around. I like you, just FYI. And I like working with you. So
speaking of just ridiculous people, there was in San Francisco, the Board of Supervisors apparently in a vote of 8-3, I believe, voted for a resolution calling for a ceasefire in this Israel-Gaza war. So they're like, we're all in agreement in a vote of 8-3 that there needs to be a ceasefire, and we hereby resolve that there should be a ceasefire. And the celebration that these freak shows engaged in, and this is yesterday, you guys, you'll note everyone almost is masked, and they are celebrating the fact that they think they've accomplished something. These are insane people.
Look at all the pink hair.
And then there was this tweet.
I was just saying, there's one that like can't even clap on the beat. Did you see that? I can't clap on the beat. Okay. Anyways,
this was my favorite response is from Amir Shavat, who said, breaking, Israel just passed a resolution calling to resolve the homeless and crime problems in San Francisco. Because that's how effective their dumbass resolution was. It's literally just the same people who block traffic, right? And they think they've accomplished something. They've done nothing.
Yeah. They've done absolutely nothing. And they're masked.
In their masks.
Why do you have the masks on? What are you doing? What are you protecting yourself from?
Oh my God.
I don't understand these people.
So ridiculous. And then there was another video that was floating around the day before yesterday, I think, that I ignored completely because I thought, well, these are just crazy people, or this is satire. It's not real. No, in fact, it is real. It is a real choir who has put to music words written by Nicole Hannah-Jones and Stacey Abrams.
Oh my God.
And they made it into a song, and they are singing it earnestly, not ironically at all.
Real. This is real.
This is completely 100% a real thing that they are proud of.
Oh my God. And the masks. Look at the masks, you guys. It's slapped. Oh my God, I can't. God.
You guys, that it goes on and on and on. Like I won't even make you listen to any more of it.
There is so much mental illness in that room. There is so much. Look at it. Look at the room. Like these are the people, like when the crap really hits the fan, all these people are going to go first. Seriously. Although I think the zombies would pass them by. Honestly,
zombies would be like, that's too weird for me.
Not eating your brains. Totally not eating your brain. My God, I just cannot with the mask. What is that? They spent hours working on that and practicing it.
Yeah.
Like adults they went to practice. They were like earnest about it. They're like, you guys, let's get together on Thursday night and practice. Okay. We got to practice. I mean, I know you were in show choir and everything, and I respect the show choir thing. All right. I mean, you do you, and I love it with the jazz hands. I love you for that. But these people were like, let's do a little ditty about this, about valid.
Well, and somebody, before they even did the practicing of the little ditty, somebody had to take those words and write a score.
Right.
And then make Xerox copies of it and put it in the little choir books, and then like decide who sings alto and what the tenor line is and all of it.
These are adults. And I actually took that clip. I sent it to my adult kids in California. I said, this is reason number like 100,000, 100, like whatever, why I'm not a liberal. Like, look at these freaks. Right? They were like, oh my God, this could not be real. It's real.
Yeah, it's unfortunately real.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea Cleaver, thank you so much. Andrea says, husband told me that Trump is vetting Lee Zeldin, so he might be able to flip New York. Who knows? Interesting.
Well, that's some strategery.
That is I mean, Elise is also a New York person. So if he's trying to, I mean, if he wants a woman and he wants New York, perhaps that would be a way to achieve that. Okay, so we actually finished up a little quicker than I thought. And so I have one feel good video that I just was so sweet and it's baseball related. Did we did we talk about Nick Saban and the reason for my name today?
No, we probably need to mention Nick Saban because you have not mentioned him yet. Let's mention him and then do that baseball video. Yeah.
There was celebration all up in this house last night.
You're so
my
excited.
husband, as soon as he saw the news that Nick Saban is retiring, as soon as he saw the news, he jumped up with like such force and excitement that my dogs started barking because they thought something was going on. Like they were like, "What's going on?"
Who's
Oh my god, I have to bark.
Who's here?
Right?
Yeah. Oh my god, so excited. If everybody knows who Nick Saban is, right? I mean,
Alabama football coach.
He's the Alabama coach. Yeah. If you're an SEC girl like we are, we're both kind of SEC. She's SEC girl by marriage. I'm a Tennessee girl. And so, people get excited about that kind of crap when when good
People have been
coaches
waiting for
retire.
this.
Because I'm like, I asked Mock last night, I go, who's going to take his place? She goes, hopefully somebody bad. I was like, all right, that's a good answer. Right.
I mean, I don't want any more Nick Saban wins. Thank you very much.
I know. So Becky's like,
it's
roll
good.
tide, roll. I almost went to Alabama. Fun fact about me, I had my roommate and everything at the University of Alabama. I was going to be in Tutwiler dorm, if anybody out there went to Alabama. And I was going to go. So I have a little bit of an affinity towards Alabama because I really love that campus. I loved it. But then at the last minute, I switched and I went to Tennessee instead. So,
I don't have any affinity.
I could have been an Alabama girl. But I was a Tennessee
that would
girl.
that'd be a problem.
That would be a problem for you. We probably wouldn't have been friends. You would, Ron would have just said, nope, can't be friends
not
with her."
allowed.
Nope.
Disallowed. Okay, so we do have just enough time to show this amazing compilation of caught baseballs in the audience, like from the people in the stands. You know how like sometimes they'll catch a baseball, it's a huge deal, and the generosity of those people in sharing their good fortune. This was just the sweetest thing I ever saw.
Isn't that nice? Somebody's made a friend.
Was on it.
Gentlemen.
Not only a Yankee fan, wearing a Judge T-shirt.
So this is why baseball is the greatest sport in the game. Melendez throws it to this man, so pumped, but he's like, you know what? No, I got to give the baseball to a kid. But then later in the game, Gooby, when Walsh hits the home run, the kid's dad's going to come up with the baseball. He's like, here you go. Now you got your ball back. You got two. He's like, you know what? No. This is incredible.
I mean,
Gives it back. That is so amazing. Look at that.
I love it.
He's like, no. She's like, that's so cute.
There it is. I was rooting for the girl myself. And she wins in the end.
Drop that. There's some boost. Oh, look at that. That young man just gave it to that younger lady. That younger lady. How about that? Good for him.
Now look at this. I mean, already a gentleman.
So sweet.
That is very nice.
Gotta share.
He's like, oh, Dad, do I have to? I know.
Look at everything. He's got
face. God
glove
bless
it now.
him.
Baseball, Red Sox shirt.
Yeah, good range by that fan, and then give it to a kid. This is nice.
Look at him.
Don't eat the ball, son.
Oh my God. Just love it. Love, love, love.
Oh my God.
Hugs. Nice.
So sweet.
Very nice. That young man. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I think we can go home now.
Yeah, we've seen everything.
That was so sweet.
I just cannot.
I love that
deal.
so much.
Isn't that the
I
most
know.
precious
It
thing?
is. Teach your kids to do that.
I know.
You know who wouldn't
I
have
don't
done
even
that?
like baseball, but I want to go to a game just because of that.
No, I hate baseball too. I mean, I'd listen, no offense against baseball, but you know who wouldn't have done that? Hunter Biden. He would have never done that. He would have kept that
Would have
baseball.
never done that. Never done. By the way, speaking of baseball, I'm very excited that on spring break, I am going to attend my very first Savannah Bananas home baseball game. And I couldn't be more excited.
She's going to be drunk in the stands, you guys. She's not. She's going to be like, "What's a plate?" and what's a. She'll have no idea what's going on, but she'll be like, "Ron, get me another beer." Oh my god. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like Globetrotters for baseball, and I am all
So
about
fun.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great.
I
It's
do
gonna be
like
great.
the smaller. What do they call it? Minor leagues. I've been to a couple minor leagues games. Those are fun. Those are
Yeah,
super
they
fun.
really
like
are.
for corporate things and everything. Those are super fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
We
That'll be a
finished
blast.
exactly on time. I'm so happy. Thank you for everyone for understanding about this previously scheduled appointment. But we will be back at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central tomorrow morning as normal.
Regular time tomorrow. Okay, everybody, bring it in. Wish Mock luck on her blood draw. Good luck. Good luck at your blood draw. And we will talk to everybody tomorrow.
Bye.